Hello to anyone listening. This is an orator here, and this time I'm going to be talking about politically correct speech. Now, if you've seen the title of this channel, you know where I stand on that, but I'm going to talk about it anyway because I had a theory. And this theory is inherently centered around why. I took some time and examined a bunch of different aspects of these things, and I actually looked throughout history and seen times in which speech was curtailed to only specific phrases or speeches about specific people couldn't be told. And from that, I looked at today because, in my opinion, the best way to understand something is to look at areas or times in which these same factors occurred and look at the circumstances around them. And from these different examples, you may come up with a viable conclusion. So, this is my viable conclusion. These people who engage in these shenanigans are doing it to obtain power. They're not doing it for justice or balance or equality. It is about power. Now, you may be saying to yourself, okay, I see what you're trying to go with here, but flesh out that theory a little bit so so I can follow you. Okay, so here's where we go with this. We all, as individuals, police our own speech. You see, when we go into the workplace, we don't talk in the workplace like we do when we talk to our friends. We don't talk to our friends like we talk to our families. Not because we think that you shouldn't. It's not that even I myself, a true believer in free speech, don't do it because, oh no, I'm supposed to. I do it just like anyone else because of the circumstances. In a work environment, you can't walk around like F this, F that, mother this. No, that is not professional and that's not how you're supposed to portray yourself, so you don't do it. When you're around family, it is about the respect that you have for individual people. I myself, as an example, I will not curse around my grandmother because I know that's something she doesn't like and I respect her, therefore I do it. My aunts and uncles, on the other hand, don't care at all. I'll say what I want, when I want. If they don't like it, then it sucks to be them. When I'm speaking to friends, same thing applies. But what I'm seeing here is because people know that we do edit ourselves in response to different situations, that the PC people come in and say, you can't say this in an attempt to gain power over us. Because once you take that first step and you allow that person to say you can't say something and then you do it, what you've done is shown them that you are open to more of this manipulation. And they will use it. And then the next time you say something, they say you can't say this. So now you can't say that. Then you can't say this. Then you can't say this. Then you can't say this. The next step is now you can't do this. And then you can't do that. And then you can't do that. Then you can't go here. Then you can't go here. Then you can't go here. And then you shouldn't have this. And you shouldn't have that. Each of these things is a step. Every step that you take towards them is a step you take away from your own freedom. Now, I know this is supposed to be centered around the speech aspect of it, and I kind of went a little further than that, but each of these things are together. This is an entire group plan of action because no one, if you ever look through history, has ever stopped when they have obtained some power. Everyone pushes to see how much more power they can gain. This is why I said step by step. Because once you accept that you can't say things, then it'll be easy for you to accept that you can't do things. Then it'll be easier for you to accept that you can't have certain things. And then it's easier for you to accept that you can't go here. And that is what they want. The more you limit people, the more you control them. And once the masses, as their final goal, are squarely under their control, they can do whatever they want. They can say the things that are necessary for them to succeed in their ultimate goal. Because acquiring power is not something you do for fun. Acquiring power is something that you use to gain something. This is all about them gaining something: power, influence, money. Now you may be saying, wait a minute, where do you, I don't see, I can't really see this. So I'm gonna break them all down for you. Number one, we're gonna start with power. How do they gain power? By living in speech. They gain power by having their views ascribed by those of any individual system or country who now have power. When you have a president of a university, or a police chief, or a politician, or anyone in these powerful positions saying that, yeah, you kind of can't say that, or policing their own speech. In other words, unable to tell the actual truth about something because they're afraid there's people are going to get defended and they're going to get all these bad letters. You now accomplished something, because now I'm stuck in a position where, as this person in the position of power, that I can't tell truth. I can't say what needs to be said. You've won, because you have a mob behind you that can make my life more difficult. That's how you gain power. How do you gain financially? Simple. Because when you begin the limitations of things, you open up new avenues. By saying you can't say these things, you now have to be trained to not say it. And guess who comes in? Mr. and Mrs. PC Hero, who now have got themselves a job. Why? Because they told people they can't say things. They told people they couldn't do things. Now I got a six-figure salary because the companies that do exist don't want the bad press. Yay me. PC worked. Now, with influence, I covered a little bit of influence in the concept of power, but influence is a little more insidious than the power, because influence is more than just affecting politicians or people who are in these areas. It affects the next generation, because these thought processes, this ideology, becomes transferred to the next generation. And when you transfer it into those young impressionable minds and they grow up in the sense of you can't do A, B, C, or D, not only will they pass that on to the next generation that comes after them, it is much easier for you to add on to it. So when you start off saying you can't do one, two, and three, four, five, and six will come much easier to the next generation. And then the generation after that won't fall right into 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then it doesn't become an issue anymore. It's automatically accepted. So, I'm going to conclude this by saying this. I am an auditor who believes in the freedom of speech. I believe Everyone should say whatever they want, when they want, and for how long they want. I have been called everything but my name in about six different languages. Not once has any of those words hurt my feelings, nor have they broken my bones, nor have they scraped my knees. You see, the old phrase, sticks and stones can break your bones and names can never hurt you. The things that I learned when I was a child, the things that my mother learned when she was a child, the thing my father learned that he was a child, the thing that a lot of us have learned when we were children still applies. And we need to bring it back to the forefront. If you run into somebody who want a police show speech, you tell them, hey, sticks and stones. If you see somebody who want to put up a video where they want to police your speech, you tell them, hey, sticks and stones. Because at the end of the day, the only pain, the only hurt that words can do is the pain that you let them. That's just the way it's always been. That's the way it always should be. This is an auditor, and I'm done. Thanks for listening.